Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to review Spider-Man from 2002. Now, when I was a kid, some 35 years ago, Spider-Man was my favorite character, and it's not hard to understand why. He was the ultimate awkward teen, and I was an awkward child who grew into being an awkward teen, who grew up to be an awkward adult. So it was not difficult to identify with Peter Parker and his geeky ways, and want that wish fulfillment of being able to do all kinds of fantastical things, because that's pretty much what Spider-Man was all about. He was, after all, the incredible Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And I believe the original film pre-production started in like 1986, but of course it didn't get made for almost 2 decades. And I think it's a good thing that we waited, because the technology that was really required to make Spider-Man look good had a while to mature. In '86 it wouldn't have been the same film it would have been in 2002. And the set of actors, the troupe of actors that played the characters in this film wouldn't have been around, and that would have been a great loss, because I really think that Sam Raimi did an excellent job of picking who the people there were to play these characters. It's just a wonderful cast, and they really seem to bring, for me at least, to bring forward these characters extremely well. Because, you have Harry Osborn. He's the son of one of the most wealthy people in the city, and yet he's still so unsure. He's still so unsullied by it. There's still a person there. There's still a human being behind that facade of wealth and privilege. And Franco does a great job of portraying that. Because he's not Paris Hilton, and it would have been very easy to cast a very outwardly charismatic character, or a really pushy kind of a role into that, and they didn't do that, and I think it was a good choice. And Tobey Maguire, of course, was absolutely note perfect as Peter Parker. He had the look, he had the sensibility, he had the ability to emote and deliver to the camera those moments when it was, there were no words. He didn't need the words, and just his face would deliver what he needed to do. And I think that was just a masterful execution of the role by Maguire. But as a comic book film, I think this also was an excellent origin story. The classic bitten by a mutant, genetically engineered spider kind of thing. And I think the fact that they decided to go with a biological, organic web shooter was also an excellent choice. Now, I know this caused a lot of controversy in the geek community when it was originally announced that they were not going to be mechanical web shooters. And I've always thought that the reason that organic web shooters made a lot more sense is that if Peter Parker had the ability to create the chemical that would that would produce those chemical webs, these temporary high strength chemical, he would have founded the Parker chemical industry, and he would have bought Dow Chemical with pocket change. He would have been the Tony Stark of the chemical world, which would have been a completely different character. It wouldn't have been the Spider-Man that we all have grown up to know and love. But it wasn't that way, because he's not a scientific genius. He's a scientific interests. He knows a lot about the topic. But chemistry isn't his forte, and he isn't the Bill Gates of the chemistry world, and that's what you'd have to be able to create that kind of thing. So, organic web shooters were a good idea. So I really enjoyed this film. Dafoe plays the Green Goblin way over the top, which is the way he should have been played. It was very broad film. A lot of the roles are big, and in the sense that they're not like Osborn is the pathos near the end of the film and stuff, and that bittersweet relationship between Peter Parker and MJ was just wonderful, and I really did enjoy it. And watching this with the commentary the other night was quite pleasant because you got to listen to Sam Raimi really get into the decisions that they made about why they did what they did. And so I appreciated that. I'm going to be reviewing Spider-Man 2 in the near future because I watched that recently, and I have yet to watch Spider-Man 3, which I need to watch without commentary before I can watch it with commentary. Oh yeah, one time I had a dream that Peter Parker goes to college, but he can't afford it. So, straight up, so he enters into the ROTC and agrees to join the military. So Spider-Man becomes a member of the military and eventually becomes a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. and wears this all-black costume, and he's very Spider-like from the 1930s. It's super spy kind of thing, which I thought was kind of cool. So, watch Spider-Man if you love comics, because this is an excellent comic book movie.